Good evening. We made it. We survived the weekend. It is Sunday. We got a few people already in here. That's good. We'll give some people some more time to join. Ms. Weeds, good to see you. Glad you can make it. Glad you could make it. Um, let's see. So tonight, we will be doing a general Q&A, just your normal coffee hour kind of relaxed kickback. Largely due to the fact that we didn't get to any Q&A last week due to the topic and everything, which that's fine. That happens. No big deals. We have gotten a lot of feedback that many of you do like having the topic on research and ramblings, and perhaps doing the open Q&A here on Magickal Coffee Hour, where it's a bit more kickback and fun in general, which honestly doesn't sound like too bad of an idea. And we are a little off kilter tonight with our background. That's okay, though. Let's see. Angela, good to see you. Glad you can make it. I am doing good. It has been a very, very busy but very fun weekend here. A little tired, but it's the good kind of tired where you've had a lot of fun. Wildfire, good to see you. Doing good. Hope you are doing well also. Luna, Jade, good to see both of you. Yeah, okay, so we got some people popping in. Again, we're going to do a general Q&A here tonight, not a topic. That way you all can get the Q&A because, again, Friday we got no Q&A. It was all just on-topic stuff. But I am glad to get your all's opinions, so thank you for messaging me your opinions on the setup because I do like that idea. I like the idea of doing a topic-based stream and then the kicked back, kind of laid back coffee hour ones. Before I do forget, because we all know I will forget, I did check it. This coming week's video is a continuation of the Goetia series. It is an entity that a lot of people's asked me about. So if you follow the channel, be sure to check that out on Tuesday when it releases. Let's see. Anthony, good to see you as well. Glad you could make it. Peachy, hey. Garson, welcome, Garson. Angela, is there any food you can't cook or can't include in kitchen witchery? No, you can include any food, any of them. That is an interesting question, though, because that is one I get a lot, and it a little bit does surprise me. But ultimately, no, you can utilize any food you want in kitchen witchery. It won't change it one way or the other. In fact, one of the things I teach my students is, correspondences are nice to give you a baseline to start on. But if for some reason you can't find a correspondence, sit down and meditate about the particular item and what it means, and or look up what perhaps the food itself would mean. What's the symbology of apples? Or some people ask about what's the properties of chicken. Well, look at the animal, the totem animal chicken, see what it represents. Those will correlate and carry over. But you can find any food, you can use it. Mornoldas, good to see you. Son, anybody hit that like button? Yeah, people smash that thumbs up button. Give us a like. It does let YouTube know you like the work we are doing. And that way YouTube will show the videos in the channel to more people who are seeking this information. So it helps us out. It helps them out a lot. And, that does remind me, though, we do have a news update. So Facebook is being extra not nice. Yeah, we'll call them not nice. So we are having more and more troubles with that. So with the Facebook being more and more problematic, we're going to have to rely more and more on our viewers to share and like the videos to get us out on the YouTube more, because it is looking like Working Dragon Mystic may not be hanging around on Facebook for much longer at the rate things are going. So we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. But for the time being, it's probably best we just assume our Facebook status might just be a no-go, just there. So please do feel free to like and share videos around whatever platforms you're on, even if it is Facebook. Let's see. AT, man, I missed the last 3 streams. Had a big weekend with the kiddo. I'm happy to be back. Mugs up. Hey, mugs up to you, AT. It's always good to spend time with the kiddo. As long as it's not at the penitentiary, you know what I mean? um, that's actually an interesting one, Angela. And I do know someone who actually uses family recipes that are passed down, um, especially in their ancestor work. So the family recipes passed down definitely are going to have a pre-underlying ancestry work meaning to them because they literally are the story of your family's history. There is a lot of story to be told by the dishes that a family passes down. Um, and due to the energetic connection to them, the memories, they can definitely stir emotions that can add power to the recipe. So, I mean, it's not a guaranteed, but as a general ideal, I would say that would definitely have a uh, effect on them, even positive or negative, because obviously, if the emotions you have are negative, well, that can be a negative effect. But if you're seeking a negative effect from the magic, then that would end up being a positive, I guess. But anyway, you get the idea, I think. Angela, what kitchen witchery dish do I get most excited about making? Ooh, that's a tricky one. That is tricky. Oh, see, for me, when it comes to kitchen witchery, the two things I think that I enjoy the most are going to be anytime I get to go out and cook on the grill or the smoker, because I just love taking the time, the process, attending the fire and everything, and putting the effort, the energy, and the intent into any form of kitchen witchery. Um, and cooking a large brisket or pork shoulder, steaks, burgers, what have you out there. I do enjoy that drastically. However, from on the inside of cooking, when I'm in the house, I really think I get most excited about stews. I don't know why. It's weird, it's silly, but I love a good stew. They're simple, they're hearty, they're affordable. And between the herbs, the spices, the seasoning, the different ingredients you can put in there, you can bestow a lot of power into a stew. And this is another thing, stews cook low and slow if you do them the right way, which means your whole house is going to be filled with the energy of this stew. And that the very aroma of the stew is actually going to start putting a bit of that magic that you're putting into it out into the air, saturating the home as well. And then, of course, dinner time comes around and you get to munch on it. So I'd have to go with interior would definitely be stews. Let's see. AT also meant to say last time I was here, big shout out to you for standing up to something of the hatred associated with certain Norse pagans. It's good to see other people who won't let that fly. Oh, thank you, AT. And that's no problem. Like I told you all, I will definitely stand up for things like that that I believe in because, yeah, that's just that kind of ignorance and hate. Just it doesn't belong anywhere, much less in magic practices. So, yeah, I'll happily stand on that one. But thank you very much for your support, AT. It means a lot. Mugs up to you. See, Wildfire, I watched your video on how many spells a day, and you mentioned you shouldn't really be exhausted after spells if you're using other energy with yours. I'm having that issue, so how can I tell? Honestly, it comes down to practice, Wildfire. It really does. Because the more you practice on raising energy and directing energy outside it, you take the Dragon's Flame ritual that we have here on this channel. That ritual is all about gathering and raising the energy, that draconic energy of the elements. And also, it's clearing and setting the space, but it's bringing that energy in so that you can utilize it and direct it. Um, and with that, anytime you move energy, there's going to be a portion of yours that's going to move with it. You're never going to get it 100% perfect. But with time and practice, you're going to be able to maneuver more outside energy than your personal energy. And you'll only utilize personal energy when necessary because of that. So it's time and practice, mate. And I wish there was a quicker way, but so far, I haven't been able to really find one that's reliable. I've seen a lot of meditations and stuff that people claim, but none of them's ever yielded actual results that can be, the data actually would be enough to matter. I'd actually put their data less than placebo, but time, experience, that pays off. Let's see, Gerson, question: I've decided to be purely occultist. Thanks to you for inspiration, Drake. Now, what are ways to become a god, as some claim to be possible, and what does that imply and entail? Check out our video, Garcon, on ascent. When people are talking about becoming a god, they're talking about the process of ascent. There are many different roads to ascent and many different philosophies on it as well. It is a very large topic, but the concept of becoming a god is essentially you become an entity of the other realms. What we refer to as gods are just non-physical beings of other realms that have a far greater understanding than us. It is we as humans who put them on a pedestal of divinity. The truth of the matter is an entity is an entity is an entity is an entity. Yes, some entities know more than other because some entities have experience. They're older. They've just done more different things like that. But the concept of divinity being separated from other entities isn't actually true. For example, most people place divinity and angels as different. That's actually not true. Many angels and demons, as we know them today, were once worshipped as gods by humans, and due to bad press, for lack of a better word, they got demoted in the eyes of humans. Truth be told, though, the fact that humans demoted them didn't change them one bit, and most of them don't even give a rat's patoot what humans think or call them. So they are still who they are. The term God is strictly just a pedestal in which we choose to place an entity on. So when we are looking at it from an occultist point of view, we're looking at ascent and breaking out of the reincarnation cycle in order to become an entity and a being that is one and whole and begins the new path as a non-physical entity. And believe me, it is a new path. It's not an easier path because, like anything when we're growing up, the more we grow, the harder things get. But yeah, definitely check out the video on ascent. Angela, I'll be honest, kitchen witchery is fun. The fact that so many people have been asking about it's got me inspired to do some more videos on it. And me and the wife was actually talking about a few ideals and stuff that we could utilize in some kitchen witchery videos. In fact, a stew recipe is one of the things I'm tinkering with, and I'm hoping to get to shoot that video soon. Jamie, hope you're having a good. Yeah, doing pretty good tonight. Hope you're having a good day as well. No CGI. Nope, no CGI. I apologize. I ain't got the budget for CGI, nor the computer know-how. Computers hate me, people. Uh, Anthony, that's actually an interesting one. As far as is there a specific dragon that actually can claim the title, understanding, and label of Typhoon? Not to the best of my knowledge. There are several dragons that have taken the nickname from time to time. Um, As far as an actual entity, also, again, I'm not aware. There are entities that have, again, picked up the moniker or the nickname of Typhoon over the years. So, as far as a singular entity that would be the source of the name and or word, I am unaware of one. There's a lot of theories out there, but I am currently unaware of a actual singular point origin, if that makes sense. That's not to say there isn't. That's not to say there isn't. Oh, but you know what? That actually thinking about different cultures and viewpoints, that gets me to remembering something. Okay, I want to clear something up real fast. We ended up in an interesting discussion on the Discord. Many of you on this channel have heard me talk about respect and how you approach an entity with respect. I think that's a pretty common statement I have made in practically most of these live streams. If I don't say it at least once a month, I probably say it more. And how that if you're approaching an entity with respect, that you're good, and that's going to be your best level start. But you allow the entity and your relationship to build from a beginning point of respect. Now, that is very important, and you do have to understand. I know I have said things on here about entities I've worked with where me and them disagree. And one of the examples that was given last night was my relationship with Yahweh or my relationship with Zeus. Now, do I find Zeus to be honorable? No, he's made some things I do not personally find honorable. And because of that, him and I is never going to be besties. Let's be honest. Now, does that mean that I'm going to refuse to work with him in any shape, form, or fashion? No, I have a functional working relationship with him if I have to work with him. And I at least respect his position within the Olympian pantheon. Easy peasy. Now, does that mean that with our working relationship, him and I knowing each other, are having that pre-standing, that equal understanding of one another because we have worked together, that I will not call him an asshole? No, I will call him an asshole. He will call me an asshole. We have an equal understanding and or an equal measure of respect between us for who we are, what we believe, and what we view. He knows why I disagree with him. Okay? That no questions asked. Very similar with Yahweh. Actually, I have far more respect for Yahweh these days. There's actually no issues between me and Yahweh now. Not to say there wasn't in the past. But me and Yahweh, we have a history too. Many of you have heard me talk about that. Here's the thing. Do not disrespect an entity that you've never worked with, that you have no actual information on. That's just rude and arrogant and egotistical beyond belief. And I equated it to the fact that there's a lot of people in this world that say this person's not worthy of my respect. Well, that's pretty freaking egotistical and haughty of you, isn't it? To think that they have to earn your respect. Consider this for a moment, because this is something that I was hit with early on in my youth, because I did take that perspective. You got to earn my respect. Well, that's ass backwards and upside down, because just think of how much better the world would be if instead of forcing everyone to bend over backwards and earn your respect, that your ego seems to place you up here above everyone else until they prove otherwise. Imagine how better the world would be if we all just approached each other. No judgments, nothing. I meet you, you meet me. We give each other a basic measure of understanding and respect. Think about that for a moment. And then we sit down with a basic measuring of respect and we begin to talk. We begin to get to know each other. You get to learn my sense of humor. I get to learn your sense of humor. You get to learn my hobbies. I get to learn your hobbies. We get to learn where we stand on different topics or subjects. And based from that level of respect, we can understand where each other truly is coming from. Yes, here's the thing though. There's going to be people that's going to do something where they're no longer deserving of your respect based on their actions. There's the kicker. They've done something to deserve you losing your respect, but you gave them that base respect that all beings should be given. before their actions determine otherwise. So I say we flip it. Don't make things earn your respect. Give the base respect and see if they can keep it or earn more, or if they lose it. And if they lose it, fine and dandy. But also, when we discuss these entities, be aware of the cultures and the people around them. Make sure you're not disrespecting them. And this is where Yahweh is a good example. Y'all know my issues with Yahweh. You know, we patched them up, we got past them, we're doing fine and dandy. At no point ever along my entire path, my issues with Yahweh, did I pointedly, willingly go out and disrespect the people who did work with him. Because they were individuals. Yahweh's this individual, this is this individual. They're separate. Because my brother's done a lot to make a lot of people mad. Those people do not blame me for my brother's actions, and I view that same respect and view toward others as well. I hold the individual accountable for their actions. And I believe this concept should approach to deities. So we do need to have that respect. And for those who are in the Discord server, many of you probably know what I'm talking about. But let's do our best, our absolute best, to try and show these beings and our fellow men and women respect. And a lot of people might be like, well, that's too easy. Actually, it's not. It's a lot harder to maintain respect than to earn it. And I think if we follow that road, I think we'll see a huge change in not just our lives, but the community around us as well. Just my 2 cents of a Southern rant for y'all. Okay, mugs up. Thanks for hearing me out. Let's see. I got a few things missed here while I was ranting. I'll try and catch up on them. Let's see. In Conway's book, she mentions dragons having clans, and a way to tell is the number of claws something like Star Clan that's having 4 claws. Is this true? And if not, where might she have gotten it? There are certain dragon myths and legends which do talk about different claw counts having different meanings. You see this a lot within like the Asian Ling style dragons and Chinese and Japanese mythology. As far as actual dragons, dragons are broke up into clans, though it's not as clean cut and simple as she likes to paint it, sadly, but that's okay. But it's not a meaning, it doesn't have as deep a meaning as what she painted it into. So it's a half truth, if that makes sense, Wildfire. Let's see. AT, I did a little offering to hell a couple of weeks ago. Hell yeah. Hell. And it always sounds weird to say, but I'll say it again. Hell. I love working with her. I've been having very vivid dreams centered around death, not even in a bad way. I've also been confronted with personal issues. Is this her? Definitely. Hell will definitely confront you with personal issues and things that you need to improve your life. Because the better off when you deal with your issues, you put yourself in a better state of self-sufficiency and a place to be happy and enjoy life. As much as hell is the caretaker of the dead, and she is a dear caretaker. She does her job very well. She also teaches us to vastly seek and enjoy the life we have while we have it. And we can't do that unless we are actually working on those issues. So yes, that is very much her. Angela, I imagine disrespecting any entity would put you in a real life horror story. Yeah, it could. Depends on the entity. Some entities are a bit more grumpy than others. Some just don't give a flying rat's rump, but some are pretty pissy. Not gonna lie. So you gotta be careful with that. The Tarot Magician. Hello. Oh, you got a pumpkin on there. Hey, mugs up to you. Welcome. Glad you can make it. Oh, coffee's good tonight. Just dropped my phone. I think it reported somebody's comment. Sorry. I hope not. That'd be bad. Luna, thank you for the super chat there. Is that Is that a pair to a drop in? That's a mic drop, ain't it? Okay, that's a mic drop. See, I'm learning some stuff here. Thank you, Luna. Appreciate the super chat there. The donation. Again, if y'all want to donate or something, we do have the super chats. Feel free. And of course, we do have the Working Dragon Mystic merch. You can even get the Dragon's Eye seal, which is not behind me right now. I'm an idiot pointing it. Well, actually, it is because if you look, you can see it behind my trees here. It's still up. That's just under it. You can get that stuff at theworkingdragonmystic.com. Click the merch tab. We also have some artwork, and we got masks coming for those of you who are excited about those. Let's see, Jamie, been doing a lot of visualization and spell work, and just day to day life feels so strong, like it's on the verge of a literal manifestation. Question: is it normal to feel visualization so strongly? Yeah, with time and practice, definitely. But also, as energy starts to work and come forward and even get close to that manifestation point, it's actually very common to feel that energy stronger at those times as well, which sounds very much from your description like might be where you're at. Let's see. Well said. Couldn't have said it better myself. I'm so glad you guys understand where I'm coming from when I get on those rants. I try not to rant too much. I try to spare you some of it. Let's see, Angela. I never outright disrespect anyone or any entity on purpose. I find it you are working with deity or ancestor or spirit accidentally made a mistake, they can be generally nice about it. Yeah, general mistakes are pretty nice about. Um, but especially online and internet forums and whatnot, you got to be careful how you approach it. You got to be careful how you might utilize certain terms. Um, so you got to be a little careful there. But I get your point. Let's see. I accidentally offended an acne peppermint once, not realizing this herb is a spider repellent. Oh, arachne. Okay, I see what you did. Offering peppermint once a spider repellent. Yep. I could see why that could be a sticky situation. Yeah. But see, that was an accident. This was they had no idea or concept on the entity in which they were asking, and they were dropping names, short forms, kind of making fun of the appearance of the entity and everything without, I'm sure they thought it was cute or something and probably didn't realize how disrespectful it was. But you gotta be careful. I think we all know that. And I agree. You shouldn't seek to disrespect people, even people who actually have lost my respect. I don't respect them, but I will still attempt my damnedest to, anytime I interact with them, to interact with respect. Because, in my personal opinion, my ability to interact with them respectfully as much as possible, whether they're worthy of my respect or not, that reflects more on me than them. So I always try to, even if they're not worthy of my actual respect in how I view them, I think I should still present myself respectfully toward them. And I do my best to do that. Now, that's not to say I don't get on, somebody doesn't say something and I don't cuss them out. That's also in my nature. Because I don't lie. I'm very open and honest with how I'm feeling. And so, yeah. So that's the thing. Got to be, juggle that a little bit there. Let's see here. Okay, we're actually caught up on some stuff. Look at that. Who would have thought that? 30 minutes in, not bad. Hopefully, everybody has had a good weekend. We got asked about a Norse magic class on Friday. Just a reminder, that is something we are looking into. I am working with Odin and Hel, since Hel's already been mentioned here, and many of the other Norse entities to attempt to try and get the outline fully fleshed out, finished, and ready to go. And hopefully, my personal goal, is to attempt to film it and have it out next year. I don't even know if we'll see the filming start next year, but that's what I would want if I get my personal choice. We are going to attempt to start doing more of the kitchen witchery videos. We got a lot of people interested in kitchen witchery coming back, which, hey, that's good for me. I will try to, since obviously when I cook food, I'm going to feel obligated to eat it. Many of the recipes I'm going to present, most of the time, is going to have to be something that fits within my diet, so I can actually work on being a healthy Drake and make these videos for many, many, many years to come and continue ranting for many years to come. But I will also try to describe variants and things that you can do to add to it, things like that. Or if I'm not going to be able to find a variant that fits my diet, there are days and occasions where I'll just go full bore and allow anything. But it's only like one meal every now and then. So perhaps those meals will be the ones I build around filming these videos, just to make these videos as versatile as possible. So bear with me, because I can't just throw out my health goals just to make videos. That would be bad, wouldn't it? That'd be stupid. And I think you all would probably yell at me in live stream if I did that. So that, which is cool. I'm okay with that. If y'all ever see me do something stupid like that, call me on it. Say, hey, Drake, you remember that thing you told us to tell you? You're doing it. Stop it. I'd appreciate that. Did Odin really hang from a tree and lose his eye to gain wisdom? Those are two separate events, but yes, he actually did trade his eye for a drink from Myrmidon as well. And yes, he did hang from the world tree as a sacrifice of himself unto himself in order to gain the knowledge and power and mastery of the runes. And there's actually more knowledge and mastery he gained while he was there. If you actually read Odin's story, you will see a lot of shamanic ideologies of self-sacrifice, and setting aside certain comforts in order to gain knowledge. And really, when you learn more about the characteristics of Odin, he valued knowledge, wisdom, and understanding above all else. And he was willing to go the distance, and he was willing to face the hardships. He knew knowledge and wisdom was valuable. He knew it would not be gained easily. And his stories, his path, they're really showing us that you shouldn't expect something to just be handed to you easily with nothing to pay. There's a cost for that knowledge. In fact, in the Havamal, it actually talks the price of having knowledge, because there's a lot of people who they understand the weight of the knowledge and the wisdom that Odin had pressing down upon him. What he knew caused him to worry. There were things he worried about that he foresaw that weighed down upon him. And Odin's one of the first literary sources I'm aware of where warning of careful what you do learn, because once you learn it, you can't forget it. So you have to be willing to bear the burden of that knowledge and understanding and power that you seek. And believe me, it can be a real burden. And I think that's perhaps one of the things I relate most to with Odin. So many people, they want this knowledge, they want this power, and they think they can just go happily skipping through the world like nothing's ever wrong. Nope, 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 nope. There is a certain blissfulness to ignorance, because you don't know that things are bad, so you get to be happy for no reason. But to have true insight and understanding, you see the larger picture. And if you see the larger picture, you see a lot more of what's wrong. And you see a lot more of how it can get worse. And perhaps the worst part of it, you also see how unlikely it is to improve anytime soon. So knowledge is very much a burden, though it is valuable. though it is precious and though it improves us and helps us in so many ways, if we are not equipped and capable to handle the burden of the knowledge in which we possess, it can also destroy us. See, Angela's so excited to see you more. For the Norse magic entity videos, love Norse mythos. Yes, we are wanting to do more videos. I know we've talked about the course and the training course, like the Dragon Magic 101. And yes, those courses allow me to go so much deeper than what I can do on YouTube for many reasons. But yes, I am actually wanting to get more of the Norse content up myself. And I'll be honest with you, you guys have just spammed me with great ideas between the kitchen witchery, the Goetia, the wanting to do more angels, wanting to get some Norse content up. It's like, where do I start? How do I start? I ain't got enough time in my day to get all this up as quick as I would. Luckily, I plan to live for a long time. But with such a backlog of ideas and more ideas coming, I don't think this channel's going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think we're going to run out of things to talk about, which is wonderful. But I am hoping to start weaving in more of that Norse content very soon, as well as the kitchen witchery, which means the Goetic series may slow down a bit. Sorry, people. And of course, if we're weaving in more of those angelic videos as well, we're going to be seeing that. So, I mean, let's just go look at what we're talking about here. Norse, kitchen witchery, angels, Goetia. That's essentially 4 topics. So if I did each of those alone, that would only be doing one video of each topic per month, which would fill up a whole month. And then that's only counting those 4 topics, not all the other topics that we talk about here on Working Dragon Mystic, which, by the way, dragons are not even one of those 4 topics. So you can see we've got a lot of info that we can continue talking about for a long time. But yes, I am going to try and get more of that. I will agree. The Norse topics, we've had a bit of a drought, and if anything needs to be pushed up on priority, I think it might be a little bit of that Norse fun. Know what I mean? So we might have to look into some Norse. Also, I'd like to get at least 1 or 2 of the angel videos out. So I may prioritize those a bit over the Goetia series and some of the other things, while I'm working on getting some of the kitchen witchery stuff ready to come up and going. So, and I do appreciate you guys are very, very understandable, most of you, for the fact that I have to stagger this stuff and I've only got so much time. Many of you actually know over in the Discord, I keep really crazy hours. 3 or 4 hours of sleep a day would actually be a miracle for me. And that's not to say I don't like it. I love what I do. I enjoy what I do. And I am grateful I have so many people who appreciate what I do. But even a workaholic like me has a limit of what he can get done. So I appreciate y'all's understanding in that. Thank you very much. Mugs up to y'all. Let's see. Odin is a wonderful guy to work with. My relationship with him feels he's a grandpa type to me. Love enjoying some coffee, cigar with him. Very powerful. Odin is pretty cool, no doubts. Yes, and I've had a cigar and coffee with him too. I think he was as upset. I occasionally enjoy a tobacco pipe, not often, but I think he was as upset as I was when one of my favorite blends was completely discontinued, which I thought was funny. Let's see. Wildfire. I plan to ask my co-mag after work for myself personally. But for you, what would you say is a general sign you're ready to start working with the first 4 rulers? In the Dragon Magic 101 course, the way we state this is you want to make sure you have a good, solid, functioning relationship with your guardian dragon and your co-magician, because these are the 2 that's going to help you be able to handle the energetic disruptions of working with the rulers. I don't care which ruler it is, there's going to be a disruption There is no nice, soft, cuddly, oh, this is wonderful. No. Anyone who's actually gone through Tracking Magic 101, they will tell you there's a ruler. There's always that one ruler. It's like, oh, that was so enjoyable. But they're also comparing that one ruler to these rulers over here that completely wrecked their shit. Um, but they always speak highly of the rulers that wrecked their shit because they learned so much. And it is those turbulent points where we're really getting churned up, wrecked out of our comfort zone that we actually grow and learn the most. So you'll find that easier one. But inevitably, if you push aside these three and say, what happened here? They will start telling you of all the things, all the trials and tribulations that this ruler still brought to them in many, many ways. So it's a matter of perspective. So there is no way that you will get by any of these rulers working with them in a cushy perspective. That is why the guardian and the co-magician are required to actually approach them to help balance that energy out. And most importantly, when you truly get stuck in that point where it's like you're pinned against the wall trying to drink from a fire hydrant and you're just getting pounded with the same force as the mighty Mississippi, you can't move, you can't breathe, you can't go anywhere. What are you going to do? Are you going to panic? No. You've got your co-magician, you got your guardian there to advise you, to instruct you, to help you through this point and overcome what is being placed before you. And that is why it is so important to have those relationships. And there are times when those two dragons are actually going to have to attempt to even pull some of that energy off and balance it out just so you can survive it. It's not that the rulers are malicious, it's just they are going to move in your life in such a large way, a drastic way. It takes a lot to actually get through, and I'll be honest, even with a guardian and co-magician's help, I've seen a lot of people who just do not have the discipline and commitment to make it through. Even with help, they're like, this is too hard, I didn't get immediate results, and they pout and they wander off. And the dragons, they're going to be like, okay, you don't have the mind, the fortitude, or the discipline to do this. That's your choice. They don't take offense to you wandering off because they don't want to waste their time if you don't want to put in the effort. So that's reasonable. So, long-winded way is make sure that you have at least taken a couple weeks to get to know your co-magician after you should have taken a couple weeks to get to know your guardian one-on-one, and continue to work with them daily, both of them, to continue to grow and build those relationships. But at that point, you could begin to reach out and work with the rulers. There are some people, I know students who have taken an entire year of working with just their guardian and their co-magician because they really wanted to have those relationships on point. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I actually admire that approach. I don't think I could do it. I don't know if I would. But I do admire it and I understand the mentality of it. And it's not a bad idea. So outside of the minimum of 2 weeks and making sure that that relationship is solid before you move on, after that point, it's between you and your guardian and your co. And you are a very busy man helping lots of people. I try, and I got a lot of people telling me to make more time to for myself, and I am trying to do that. I've actually kind of segmented off more of my weekends, so many of you know Saturday's kind of just blocked off as my day off. I've actually started putting some recreation events on a Sunday morning ish area. So there's about a 3 to 5 hour period on Sundays where I hang out with some friends, have some fun and some laughs. But it still leaves me time, of course, to get set up for the streams, get everything I need in place, and pop in here and have a good time with you. Which the streams don't really feel like work. I'm not going to lie, they don't. Aside from the fact that I occasionally have to attempt to remember announcements. Um, but more often than not, the streams don't really feel like work. But I am trying to maintain that because definitely Monday through Friday, let's be honest, I don't slow down. I just do not. It's actually kind of funny because my wife's on a 4-day weekend right now and I have to work tomorrow. So her and I's already been discussing how we're going to pull this off. And she's basically already told me, she's like, well, I'll just go upstairs in the office and I'll sit there and read and, catch up on some of what I'm doing. And you can just stay downstairs by yourself and get your work done. Okay. She needs some Seffi time. I respect that. And that's also going to allow me to focus on my work. So there we go. Let's see. Oni Chan, I've been working on mastering my mind and my body because I have the goal of ascent for this life. Any advice? Uh, Man, I wish I could give you advice that I knew was actually going to be substantial, but I myself am working that path to ascent. I myself am working on better disciplining my mind and my body. My mind, I've got pretty much disciplined. My emotions, 90% of the time, I got them locked down. Body needs work. I let a lot go for a lot of different reasons in different points in my life. I've also got a lot of injuries that are popping up. Lately, my elbow's been acting up something awful. I don't know if it's I'm getting old. I don't know if it's an old injury, or I don't know if it's how I'm sleeping because I have been occasionally waking up with my arm hyperextended off the bed. Um, all I can do is continue to work to improve and better myself and continue working with the beings I do work with, seeking their wisdom and seeking to better myself every day. The single best point I could give you, Oni-chan, is try to do something every day to so that you wake up tomorrow better than you were today. That would be the single best advice, as corny and generic as that may be. Currently, that is about the best I can do because I like to think I'm pretty good on that road to ascent. I like to think it. That doesn't mean I'm guaranteed it. Um, and even if I was guaranteed it at this moment, who's to know I wouldn't do something stupid and screw it up? I make mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes. Um, so yeah, take it one day at a time. Try to do something every day so that tomorrow you wake up a better man than you went to bed as, or better lady, better whatever. You know how it goes. Let's see, pro. It's not just you. My elbow's doing that off and on the last 2 weeks. Yeah, it's my dad had some arthritis and stuff. So, and with the damage my body's taken over the years, honestly, I'm surprised I'm not eat up with arthritis already. So I wouldn't be surprised if my elbow's just getting stiff in that manner, especially with the weather starting to change. But at the same time, I'm checking off all the lists, the sleeping wonky, stuff like that. At one point, I was doing a lot of work over on the couch. So I was holding this arm wonky. So there's so many different things that it could be. Um, and we did actually just order a new mattress. So, hey, if it is me sleeping, we're about to figure that one out quickly. Wrestling and martial arts catching up with you. It'll do it. It will do it. I am finding that though many of my joint issues with the going carnivore and starting to get better back into a workout routine, my joint issues have almost disappeared. So this new elbow issue, that's pretty sure that just has to do with the sleeping thing right now. Oni-chan, thank you. That's not corny to me. I see it as a really good advice and a man, but honestly, I don't care what people call me. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm glad you see you understand what I'm saying, Oni Chan, because I think oftentimes, and this is something I've told my daughter before. I think oftentimes we set a goal, and we seek this goal, and we start way down here, and we can't comprehend what it's going to take to climb this mountain to get here. And because we can't comprehend that climb, we never start. But what people don't understand is the goal may be the goal, but the trip to the goal is done in single steps. So if you set that goal and you take it day at a time, day at a time, day at a time, day at a time, those little steps are so much easier, so much easier. And before you know it, you've reached your goal and even surpassed it, and you're ready to set a new goal to become an even better person and to continue to grow in that method. Um, that's one of the reasons I do think that, metaphysical or not, if we just set the basic mindset of attempting to do everything we can to better ourselves and our community, and hopefully work so that when we wake up tomorrow, hopefully a better person, a wiser person in some way, even if it's from a mistake. Let's say you completely screwed up yesterday, made a mistake. Did you learn something from it? Great. That's an improvement. Um, Now, if you don't learn from it, well, that's what we call an idiot. But as long as we keep that singular goal of always working to be better today than we were yesterday, I have noticed that can have one of the most powerful transformations on a person's life. So, let's see, Mindswagger, what's your opinion on books like Things and Grow? I've never read the book Things and Grow Rich, Mindswagger. Though, if you're talking about books on magic to do a ritual and suddenly get rich, um, rarely do those books pan out. Now, there are plenty of books on magic that actually talk about growing one's wealth and actually do a fair job of explaining it. But if you're looking for a genie's lamp to do a ritual, light a candle, and boom, you're a millionaire, it ain't going to happen. Secondly, and this is important, this is something else we talked about in the server. No amount of money will make you wealthy because people are stupid. The more money they make, the more money they spend. And the more money you spend, the less money you have. So, no amount of money coming in, if you continually raise your expenses, is ever going to make you happy because you're never going to fill that void, that hole, that rotting cesspool inside you with any amount of money because you're going to continue to spend it. However, if you actually understand wealth and you actually understand finances and you actually understand how the term wealth was originally used, in which one's money can actually supply all their needs they can meet all their needs without having to punch a clock or go to a job every day. Um, that would actually be the definition of wealth. Well, now you have to ask yourself, what is it that you want and why do you want it that's actually going to make you happy? 90% of the people who want to say a big mansion, three, four, five cars, blah, 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 they'll get every one of those things and find out they're miserable. They are absolutely miserable. Whereas to grow independent wealth so that you can be independently wealthy, so that your money can actually provide for your lifestyle, if you actually understand what it is you need, that's a far, far easier goal to achieve very easily, um, especially this day and age. Um, but it also takes taking time to be alone with you and ask yourself, what is it that you really want? Why is it you're actually unhappy? More often than not, it's not your living conditions, it's not your lack of. It's about looking in the mirror and figuring out what it is you do and do not like about yourself and being honest with yourself, which is something most people aren't willing to do. Now, I used to, in my youth, think I wanted me a big old house. I wanted me a big old truck. I wanted me an RV. I wanted me a boat. These are things I wanted. the more and more I've seen in this world, I realize that's not what I want. I want a house for me and my wife. I need a roof over our head, a place to live. I don't need to own the house even. I could be happy in an apartment. I've also learned I don't like to clean. So big house, screw that. Because the bigger the house, I got to clean it. Everybody's like, get a maid. I don't like people in my stuff. I don't. I don't like people messing with my stuff. So maid's not really a good idea either. So we are actually downsizing. Our place is not the biggest. Many of you know that. I live in military housing, not exactly big. And it's already too big for us. We actually joke that this room I'm in here, we could put our whole house right here and we'd be happy. So we need to find a place that has the room that we need and we want for the activities and the hobbies we do, which isn't much. We both enjoy reading and doing things together, but we don't need a lot of fancy things. So the downsizing process has commenced. And I mean, of course, we've gone through the traditional talks of buying a house. And at the end of the day, we're like, why are we buying a house? By the time we get it paid off, we'll be kicking off. That seems ridiculous to take in a debt that we don't need. That we have no need for it. Um, and it's actually gotten to the point where, and feel free to laugh at me on this, okay? Feel free. You're going to love this one. Feel free. You're going to love this one. We were actually talking about retiring by going to the old folks' home. Find one of those senior living places where you got your little apartment with your wife, you got your room, your living room, and basically they provide the little workout place, all that place, and it's senior living. If you fall down, do something stupid, there's a nurse on hand. I know a lot of people's like, don't put me in the old folks' home, but at the same time, I'm like, I kind of like this idea because no one wants to go there. I'm not a people person. Um, a bunch of old guys to play cards with on a regular basis sounds like a perk. I get to spend my time with my wife, and there's an on hand person if I do something stupid. I don't see the downside. I really don't, because when it comes to my family, I really don't care if my family visits me anyhow. So, yeah, that sounds like a little slice of heaven to me. May not be for everybody. And you're right there, Max Swagger. Sounds like success. People have to measure success, but we measure success by the flashy cars we drive. And truth be told, a car ain't going to do squat for you most of the time. But I would encourage you all to go and do a little research, even on YouTube. There's a guy called Joseph Hogue here on YouTube. He runs a channel talking about stocks and investing. It is so easy this day and age to get on something like Robinhood, or what's that other one? They got another one. It starts with an M. My phone's turned off. Crap. I know this name. I know this name. I know this name. Oh, M1 Finance. It's not a name. It's a letter. Something like that you can put on your phone and start investing in stocks. You could easily pick out an ETF. What an ETF is, for those who don't know, is essentially a grouping of stocks that perform best within its sector. And if one stock starts doing bad, they replace it with one that's doing good. This is kind of a security. It's not a guarantee, but it's a security. And if you invest in the long term, let's say you're 20 years old and you start investing $10, $15, $20 per paycheck. Well, between the stock growth and the fact that you're continually investing, it would not be difficult at all to grow that stock portfolio, increasing what you can pay into it and invest into it as it grows and as your career grows, so that by the time you're 40, you have $100,000 in your stocks. And then those stocks can continue to grow and continue to pay dividends. Now, this is simple. I'm simplifying this pretty much, but that is very, very doable for anyone. There's people who have worked flipping burgers at McDonald's or Burger King who have retired 100% on a stock portfolio just like this. But here's the kicker. You have to resist the urge to try and play the day trader. Day trading, don't get me wrong, there are people who make good money doing day trading, but it's a lot of work. You have to do a lot of analysis, and you have to get lucky because you have to buy low, wait for it to jump, and then flip and sell it. And the risk is astronomical. Where if you play the long game, risk is minimal, and you have historical data to be funded on. Now, here's the thing. Drake, this has nothing to do with the Magick. What the hell are you talking about, man? You're ranting on about investing. What the frick's wrong with you? I have a point. I know I'm on time, but I have a point, and I'm Southern. I will make my point. Jade, I knew you were coming after me. I'm not a fan of crypto, but there are a lot of people who are doing well with it. However, here's the thing. Crypto or ETF investing long term. Here's the thing. Let's think about this. We know Magick is going to take the easiest point between its destinations. We know already, as I described in the prosperity spell, that long-term prosperity spell, we understand why that's so powerful because it extends that prosperity growth over a continued long period. We understand that. And even just by working a job and busting our humps, we've seen how much we can grow there. Take that same knowledge, take that same understanding, and apply it now to something like investing and ETFs that can grow long term. Then apply that with what you truly need to be happy. You will hit that point of financial independence and success so much quicker utilizing all these things at once. You truly will. I wish I had these tools and I wish I had this knowledge when I was 20. Because I've done the math. I'd already be retired. I wouldn't have to worry about nothing. I still got a few years to get there. But I do have a goal. Coming into the game late, it's still very, very doable. And I have watched my goddaughter do it, and I am watching my daughter do it. And the fact that I am at least able to share this knowledge with them so that once I finally go the way of the dodo, I know they're going to be good. I know they're going to be fine. They're going to be able to take care of themselves. And that's what I would actually genuinely and truly recommend for you all is to look into that and look into staggering it. But also when it comes to your finances, don't look for the mansion. Don't look for the flashy car. Look to what's actually going to truly make you happy as you get older. What is it you truly like to do and enjoy? If all you enjoy doing is to sit and play video games, there's nothing wrong with that. If that truly makes you happy and brings you joy, by golly, you do that. But you don't need a mansion to do that. So actually look at what truly brings you joy, because I was thinking about it, and if I had a house payment, I'd have to cut down on my camping. I don't want to cut down on my camping. Somebody's like, well, Drake, when you get older, you might not be able to go camping. True. But then I was like, okay, if I don't camp, what do I do? And I still don't want to clean that dang house. I don't. So really examine what it means that you really want to do, what you're going to be able to do, what makes you happy, and focus on that. And one book I would recommend, Matt Swagger, one book I would recommend just for the mentality shift is 4 Hour Work Week, because in there he really talks about what it means to be rich and how it is possible to not have all these flashy things, but live a rich, extravagant lifestyle because you focus on the things you do need and the things you want. And though necessarily the travel and everything he talks about, I don't really necessarily want in my life, but the mentality shift that he talks about, the man's on something. Yeah, give it a read, Matt Swagger. Give it a read. All right, everyone, I'm past my 4 minutes. Jade has already thrown a clock at me. And is that Onich Chan threw a clock at me? God dang it, look at that. Everybody throwing clocks a drink. I see how it is. All right, we'll get ready to wrap up here. Everyone, you have a wonderful week. I wish you the absolute best, and I will see you again on Friday. I don't have the topic in front of me. I'll try and post the topic um, early enough so you guys can potentially ponder some questions to throw at me. Thank you for joining me here tonight, everyone, and thank you for putting up with my rants, even when I run over on time. Until next time, everyone, take care. Good night. Bye bye.